Luke, come introduce the pod.
Oh.
All right.
I'm coming! Welcome to another edition of Sorta Stupid Sports Podcast. I am Luke Fredericks, and I know nothing about sports, but I'm here as a guest star today. Welcome to our show.
And that was the sweet and savory voice of Luke Fredericks. I am Noah McCune.
I'm Blaine Smith.
I am Darren Will.
Troy Gant.
Matt Shiflett.
And we are the Sort of Stupid Sports Podcast, as you have already been introduced. Okay, so as you all know, we had the NFL wild card happen this past weekend.
And it was wild.
It was.
Yeah.
Things happen. People won games, and they're moving on in the playoffs.
And others are going home to cry in their, Chicago beds.
At Cody Parkey.
Oh.
Yeah.
And most of them lost
There will be
at
no
home.
there will be no brand slander on this.
No, none of that. None of that.
Anyway.
So let's go ahead and start with the first game. It was the Colts versus the Texans in Texas. The Colts dropped 21 on a pretty good Texans defense where Texans didn't really do much.
They didn't show up in the first quarter.
They just weren't
They
there.
really didn't show up until the fourth.
I would say they didn't show up at
Yeah.
all.
That game was boring.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson had a very lackluster performance.
Not Deshaun Watson.
He just has no time at all.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't help.
He didn't really have any receivers because DeAndre Hopkins got injured in like the first quarter.
Yeah.
He still played, but
Oh, yeah.
like
That's
they,
just
they need Demarius Thomas and Will Fuller back, and
That's
they
just shows-
obviously need O-line.
I
how
mean,
much of a baller DeAndre Hopkins is.
Deshaun Watson led the Houston Texans rushing attack with 76 yards. That's when your quarterback's running that much, it can't really mean good things for your team unless you're a college team.
and
Not
it's
to
also
mention-
multiple times that
Yeah.
Not to mention he also threw the ball, 50 times? 49 times?
49.
Like, he was working double duty, and they
Right.
still couldn't pull anything off.
Lamar Miller had a great 5 carries for 18 yards.
Solid performance.
that game.
But I
Job,
mean,
kid.
Marlon Mack is good.
Mm-hmm.
He
Even
24
turned it
carries for
on.
148 yards and a touchdown. Like this Colts team is a really scary 6th seed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and back out of what I said last week about the Patriots. Wrap it up for the Indy Colts. I'm telling you right now.
Ooh.
Send them straight to the Super Bowl.
I can,
I
I was gonna say, the
applaud it.
weird thing is, I don't think you're crazy.
Yeah,
I don't either. I feel really comfortable.
It's
with
just
it.
the only thing
I just needed
is,
to see them look good against the Texans.
They
That's
look
all I
good.
needed to see. Was
It's hard to win in
solidify it, maybe.
Foxborough in the playoffs.
If
It's the only
you-
thing.
If you would have said that at the beginning of the year,
I would
I would have been like,
laughed.
"You're insane."
Especially
Andrew Luck may be healthy, but the rest of
Yeah.
the team is like rookies and a garbage O-line. And now they're one of the best O-lines in the league, and their
And rookies.
rookies are incredible.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't
Good
understand
drafting.
any of it.
Good drafting.
Captain Luck's got it in order there.
The final score of that game was 21-7. Colts 21.
Do
Texans
you
7.
remember how Jonathan Joseph talked trash about T.Y. Hilton? And he said that he looked like a clown, so then T.Y. Hilton wore a
You
clown
wore the
mask.
clown mask.
That was awesome.
Troll.
T.Y. Hilton does look like a clown.
Ouch.
But they got the dub, so sorry, Jonathan Joseph, but play better next time.
All right, let's go ahead and stay in Texas. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. A honestly surprising game.
And we all
Yeah, we all look
words.
like idiots.
Listen,
Every single one of us should apologize.
hold on.
I don't
hold on.
regret anything.
I am not
I regret
apologizing. I'm not apologizing. I still say that the Dallas Cowboys have no business being in the playoffs. Listen, they put on a really good game. Dak Prescott looked good, but he does this all the time. He looks good for a game or two and then just falls off. And then, I mean, they gave Ezekiel Elliott 26 carries.
Which they should. Like,
I think that's
every game.
huge for this team. If they continue to do that,
If-
then they can be dangerous.
I
They
mean, that's
can
what
beat-
we were talking about a couple episodes
Yeah,
ago.
I mean-
When you give Zeke the ball, you win the game.
They can
every
beat the
single
Rams.
time.
And-
the Rams defense, rushing defense is horrible. So if they just feed Zeke,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to beat the Rams, but that would be their game.
I mean,
plan
it's
to
a
beat the
golden
Rams.
ticket. Just
Yeah.
feed Zeke,
Yeah.
and you win the game.
I mean, the key is to stop. Like, if you want to beat this Texans team, the key is to stop Zeke. I mean,
This Texans team.
this Cowboys team.
The Texans wish they had.
They're in
Yeah,
It's a Texas team. It
The
is what it
Texas
is.
Cowboys.
I think
just merge the two, call
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
day.
yeah.
We're good.
one of the because Seattle had the number one rushing offense. They only rushed for 73 yards,
Ooh,
which
that's-
is not good for them. So I mean, give credit to the Cowboys defense.
Oh, yeah, oh,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, the
But-
Cowboys defense is one of those, like, I feel like they're like kind of like 15th in the league, but they can play top 5 like,
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
When
so-
they want to.
And their whole team is like that, though. Their whole team is like, they could be a top 5 team, but most of the time they play like a bottom half of the league
Yeah.
Middle of
type
the order
of team.
bottom, yeah.
So how big is this Amari Cooper trade? 7 catches for 106 yards. That's 15 yards a catch.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
And just kind of like remember when everybody was like, they gave up a first round pick for him. It was like it doesn't like people were like, it doesn't matter what he did in Oakland. If it works out, then clearly it's worth
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Oakland's just
I think
the
the
best.
thing that swung the game though for the Cowboys was the fact that Sebastian Janikowski blew out his ACL.
Yeah, I watched that and I was
Yeah,
just like, "Yep, game over."
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
mean,
help.
they had to. They couldn't.
They had to
didn't
keep
have
going
a
for
kicker.
twos.
They did not have a kicker the entire game.
So what do we
sorry,
think?
Janikowski.
Think he's done?
Yeah.
Dude's like what, like he's at
He's
least
old,
40
yeah.
something, right?
Dude's old.
I mean,
He's a
When
good
you
kicker.
have an injury like that and you're a kicker, it's
And it's
was
hard
it
to
his
come back.
and
was it his
he's had a great
balance leg or
career,
kicking
yeah.
leg?
Either
It
way,
doesn't matter.
Either way, you're
man.
that old. There's no reason to
They're
go.
He's
both-
had a great career.
they're
Great
both
lefty,
very
man.
important.
Yeah, he's 40.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Jeez.
just call it.
Time
You
for
get
the-
one more year at best, but
Time
like
for
why
the old
risk
Polish
re-injuring
powder
yourself?
keg to hang around.
Missed you, Seabass. I genuinely though, I think that was the thing that swung the game for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
'cause you-
Russell Wilson had a good game.
He-
I mean, granted, like
he
when
looks
they
so
went for
good.
2, did they get it every time? Like on
No.
they went for 2, I thought, and they got them both. But they still get put in positions where they're
They could have kicked a field goal.
Exactly.
And they couldn't.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, they did as best as they could with the situation, but it sucked.
They did get
And-
the.
Surprised you don't throw the
two
punter
point
back there and
conversions.
kick the field goal.
Do something.
And I mean,
Yeah.
Russ
I mean,
was
Dixon's
making
got a heck of a leg.
throws.
I mean, you think-
Russ was making throws that were like insane. He had one like I think it was on a third down where he was rolling out and just it was like off his back foot and he threw it to Tyler Lockett and completed it. I was like, this man is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, no question. But
So let's go ahead and we're going to go on to Baltimore, where the Los Angeles Chargers took on the Baltimore Ravens and won 23-17. For most of this game, it looked like
It was not as close as the score makes
No.
it.
it was
no,
incredibly boring, to be quite honest. The first 12 points of the game were scored by the Chargers,
Field goals.
and they were all field goals.
Ravens defense showed up, but that O line was just bad. They didn't. And then they played the Ravens twice, so they kind of got a little bit of film on them and how to expect it, and they shut down the run game. So I mean, it wasn't good for the Ravens.
Plain and simple, Philly Rivers did what Philly Rivers does.
did you see that scamper where he's like, oh wait,
Yeah.
we got it, and then he,
Oh yeah, just
it
put
was
him in a
awesome.
coffin right there.
Awesome.
I stood up and applauded in my living room.
I think he's due for a Super Bowl appearance.
I think-
Really is.
I think we need to give it to the Chargers defense though.
Yeah,
Like
they
the
did
Chargers
good.
defensive coaching staff. Like that they played a phenomenal
They
game.
knew what they were coming into. They knew that they had to stop the run, which they did for the most part, only allowing 90 total rush yards.
They
It's
took
hard-
out their linebackers, put in extra DBs to keep up with
Yeah.
the speed of Lamar.
They had-
and
It's
it
hard to
worked.
beat a team twice, man.
On 59 snaps for the defense, 58 of them there were 7 DBs on the field.
Yeah.
I think
That's
that's
crazy.
incredible.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Props
Philip
to them,
Rivers,
though. I
Philip
mean-
Rivers obviously, like, was a large reason why the Chargers won this game and their defense, but he only had 160 yards and no touchdowns.
He had 200 yards.
No,
I'm looking at it right
Really?
now.
Yeah, he only had 160. Lamar Jackson had 194.
I thought he had 226. Where am
Lamar
I
did
at?
outperform Philip Rivers again.
So, I mean,
I mean, not if you look at the percentage. He
Passing
completed
wise.
less than 50%
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
passes.
What about scoring wise?
Yeah, no
Ooh.
scoring.
I just like to say.
Actually, no. Philip didn't throw any touchdowns.
But it
No.
doesn't matter. They still lost.
I just like to say there was a part in this
It
game
plays.
where Lamar Jackson was 3 for 10 for 25 yards
They turned it
and
around.
one pick.
Though.
Yeah, but it
really
happens,
turned
though.
it
I
around.
mean,
It was
You guys-
garbage.
It's kind of
time.
hard when you didn't have legit no time in the pocket. So
It was
like,
garbage time.
listen.
no, okay, the garbage time. That's not a thing.
Yes, it is.
Not,
hold
not
on.
in the playoffs.
No,
It's
no,
not
in the
garbage
playoffs.
time when you almost come back and you're a touchdown
He
away
was.
from
He
winning.
could have literally led him to the greatest comeback in playoff history,
So,
but he was short.
okay, I want to move on from this because they could go on about it
Yeah.
forever.
I kind of want to hear it though.
we can come back to this.
Okay.
But so we can talk about Mike the Badger getting 15 points. Anyone ever hear the kicker from the Chargers?
No, he's a rookie.
Mike
That's
Badger.
Oh, you
it.
talking about the Money Badger?
Yeah.
Come on,
You wanna-
Badger.
You want to talk about outperforming? 5 of 6 field goal, 83.3%. Along of 53, Justin Tucker was only 1 for 2. Wow.
Garbage.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, just thought I'd point that out. So let's go ahead and we'll move on to Chicago, where the Philadelphia Eagles took on the Chicago Bears and won 16-15. The legend of Saint Nick continues, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't
Until-
think he can't be stopped.
It's not going to happen.
He just
he
can't
can
be stopped.
he can play like average. I won't say
And still
garbage. He had a
win.
good game and still win against the second best defense. Also, something to talk about, the two best defenses in the league lost.
Mm-hmm.
Bears and Ravens, yeah.
So I think that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is an offensively driven league. And if you don't have an offense that can put points on the board, it doesn't matter how many you can. Because holding a team to 16 points, especially a team that's as talented as the Eagles, is really good. But when you can't get the win after holding someone to 16 and you only score 15, what's the point?
It's a little known fact, but you do have to score more points than the other team to win. And when you can't do that, you just can't win games. You know?
I mean, according to
Thank you,
Jason,
John Madden.
according to Jason Witten, touchdowns matter.
Touchdowns do matter.
Trubisky had a good game.
Trubisky,
I mean, he had over
Trubisky had the
300
best
yards.
game out of any of the quarterbacks.
Yeah. It's not like
Sweet.
he turned the ball over or anything. Like,
No.
he played better than I thought he would.
They
He-
didn't have a run game though.
no.
man,
There
that
was no run game to
bad.
speak of during this game.
Both
Is
teams
it
combined for
funny
like
that when-
107 yards rushing.
Is it funny that when Cody Parkey lined up for that last second field goal,
I
the
thought-
thought crossed my mind. I was like, God's not going to let Nick Foles lose here.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, I don't think anyone saw a block happening at all. Because, I mean, no one saw it when it happened.
yeah.
Everyone lost their minds because they thought he just straight up missed it. And,
And-
given his track record this season, that's not
Yeah.
unbelievable.
They
at all.
were talking about
He's
his
been hunting for this
doinks.
goal.
Yeah, I love the announcers. The double doink.
double
the double
doink.
doink.
Is-
Gosh, like, quite honestly, I'm cheering for the Eagles just for content only. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I mean,
Nick Foles winning gives everyone a better life except for Blaine. And
Because he still thinks Carson Wentz is good.
Carson Wentz is far more talented than Nick Foles. Just
but
well, you're allowed to think that.
We are gonna talk about this later. We're digging into this topic.
yeah,
today.
it has to. I think at this point it has to be talked about. He got them to playoffs
They won a
beyond anyone's belief. Like no one thought
we'll
the
get
Eagles
there.
were coming back.
And that was his fourth one in the playoffs as an underdog, I think. Third or fourth. and
It's getting
that's-
hard. It's
that's-
getting harder and harder.
yeah,
What a
getting harder to
monster.
Joe
count.
Flacco did that, but other than that, it's pretty rare, you know. Like,
can we talk about though, like speaking of trades, how the Golden Tate trade paid off?
Yeah.
Golden
Like
Tate
that's
had a game.
two trades this year who are out. Like for me, I was like, why is
Khalil
Detroit
Mack, though,
trading the? Why is Detroit trading Golden Tate like that? It just didn't make sense. And then Golden Tate showed up and probably
I
has
see a
the
lot of
best
people
game
question
for-
the Eagles for that too.
Yeah.
Did you see that catch he had when he got
Oh
rocked
my
in the middle
gosh.
of the field?
yeah, you got drilled. Yeah.
It led to an interception, so.
Pretty nice.
But that was one heck of a catch. Like
It was
I
beautiful.
don't think many people in the league can hold on to a ball like that after getting just annihilated.
I probably would have brought her down.
All right, Troy.
I know, you could say that catch was golden.
Ooh.
I think it's-
Yep, let's edit that out.
That was bad.
Dad jokes for days. Let's go.
I think this game was the best game out of all four.
Yeah, it was.
It was
definitely
very
the most
entertaining.
intense.
There were
Most
4
intense.
lead changes in this game. I mean, both the quarterbacks looked really good. I mean, like, we were talking about Trubisky earlier. He, down the stretch, like in that last drive, his balls were pinpoint accurate. Shut up.
No, but like in all honesty, like I was watching that, and you know, all throughout the season you hear Mitch Trubisky's just like an average quarterback, or you're just trying to manage with him, just get by. But like in that 2-minute drill, he looked fantastic. His throws were on point. Granted, the Eagles left him wide open,
Yeah.
because they blew coverage on 2 or 3 passes.
He
in
did
a
In
row.
a
what he
row.
needed
It
to
was
do
really
to get
bad
the
just
dub.
all of a sudden. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Because they kept biting on these little fake cut back in and then just
Yeah.
flare out. And no one saw it coming 3 plays in a row. And it was left him wide open.
But Mitch's throws were on point, and ultimately that's what it comes down to.
And
is
like
And I mean, all right.
they can blame Cody Parkey for the
they
kick.
can't.
But I mean, the Bears gave up that touchdown. Their number 1 defense gave up
Yeah.
the touchdown.
Yeah.
So
When
and
you
it's
got-
not that. And
listen.
then the Bears also couldn't
I mean,
convert into the end zone because he had 3 kicks.
so I will say on that topic, when you have
I feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do too. I definitely do. And you know, as soon as he missed that, he felt like trash.
Mm-hmm.
And
Especially when
everyone's
people are like booing
booing him
him
off
and
the
wanting to
field.
like
Did you
kill
see his
him.
post game?
Yeah, I watched it. He was
Super
just
He
like,
was a real professional.
Yeah.
he was.
That's cool.
He probably won't be back next year for Chicago.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is like when you miss that many field goals in a year, people have like a reason to hate on you a little bit.
Yeah.
I just hate it
Like
because
Chris
we never
Boswell.
we never talk about kickers until they do bad.
Until they do something.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
you know, this guy could make 99 field goals, and then the second, he,
And then the second Justin Tucker misses his first one,
Yeah.
we all pointed out.
everybody's like, "Oh, this guy sucks." But I'm like,
And like,
But like, it was 43 yards on a windless night. It's not the
Very makeable
hardest.
kick.
And
Yeah,
he nailed
that's
it
what
the
I'm trying to
first time.
say.
he nailed it.
They called that timeout, and as soon as they called a timeout, I was like,
He's
that
gonna miss
timeout won the game.
Because they usually.
I mean, that does prove that icing the kicker works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Well, I mean,
that Pepsi
I don't even
commercial.
think it works because he could have made it. It got tipped.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if
So
it
it's
had
not
gotten
all his
tipped, he
fault,
probably
yeah.
would have made it.
But people still hate him for.
And I was listening to some analysis. I think it was Chris Wessling of NFL Network, and he was saying how crazy it is kickers like define the careers of players. Like, how differently are we going to think of Mitch Trubisky if they don't win this game because of the kick? Or how much differently, maybe not, that we think of Nick Foles because the kick was missed. You know, it's crazy how kickers define so much history and they don't, like, they're the in for, like, 10 plays max in a game.
I mean, Adam Vinatieri has, 2 game-winning
For Tom
Super Bowl
Brady.
kicks?
Yeah.
Like,
And think about Philip Rivers though. Like he could have maybe went to a Super Bowl before, but like they've never had a great kicker.
But you think
So
about being in this situation at all, like
That's got to be insane.
Well, no.
difficult.
I mean, so the reason I'm saying they have some reason to be mad at Parkey is they lost to the Bengals by 3 points. He missed a field goal.
Losers to the Bengals.
They lost to the Bills by 1 point, and he missed a field goal. Like, if you would have won these couple of games, would you have gotten that first round bye?
Oh, yeah.
Would you have not been in this situation to begin with if your dude could hit some kicks?
you'd have just got bodied by Nick Foles the next week.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
But, like,
you gotta think about Steeler fans. Like their kicker misses like everything.
Yeah,
and they didn't make.
and
the
I think he
playoffs.
needs to be cut because as soon as you brought in Matt McCrane and he hits every single kick that last week, I mean, if
Yeah.
you can't do your job, you got to get out
Right.
of town.
I said we throw Boz back in there, see if old Matty fired him
I say
up.
we just switch
Ooh.
balls.
How about
Cody.
they have a primetime kickoff, like they have like a game show, and they have these two go at it to compete for the starting spot. I'd
Not
watch
a
that.
chance anybody's watching that.
I'd watch that. You could do like Shaq versus.
You know,
Balls
and
roll,
we've
bro.
missed one like important player in this game. Allen Robinson had probably the best game of his career. 10 catches for 143 yards and a touchdown.
A lot of
was
those.
He has been silently good.
Yeah.
this
He
year.
really has, and I mean, I didn't expect it. He
good.
played for the Jags.
I mean, he was good in Jacksonville.
He was good,
It's
but like
just-
He
was
made Blake
quietly
Bortles look good.
Yeah, he did.
And
Now,
now
takes
It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then again, he has to make Mitch Trubisky look good, which I'm
It's
still not high
as
on.
hard to do.
I think Mitch
Still
is,
not as high
I think
on.
Mitch is better than Blake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
oh
okay.
yeah.
If I was building a team, I'd take Mitch Trubisky over him.
Listen,
any day.
Blake shouldn't have been starting 2 years ago.
Nope.
Maybe 3.
Hey, but
But
did
he
good.
made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, he did beat the
Playoff.
Steelers, and then he
I-
did
we ain't talking
outdo
about
Tom
playoff.
Brady
I
this
think
year.
I think the
but
Jags defense made it to the playoffs.
I think yeah.
That
I
defense
agree.
was insane.
I mean,
It was
wait,
really
but did they not beat the Steelers like 44 to
They beat
something?
the Steelers every single
Because
time.
they're
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you can't say the defense did that.
no, the Steelers beat them this
Good
year.
run game.
I mean, they kind of did that because wasn't it like 45-7
Well,
at one point?
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't talk about that.
All right, so let's go ahead and
Yeah,
move
moving on.
We've been talking about this enough.
All right, so moving on to the news section this week. Last week we talked about how 8 head coaching jobs were open in the NFL. And as of today, 3 of them have been snapped up. So let's talk about those real quick. The first one is going to be the Packers hiring Titans offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur as their head coach. What do you think about
I think
that?
it's kind of
Such a weird
interesting.
decision.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I've never been like, that overpowering Titans
that
offense.
Titans offense. I mean, I
They didn't
guess
look that great.
Great
they
name,
don't
though.
they
Great
don't
name.
have much, and they were winning games, which okay, but I don't.
What happens when you give them Aaron
Did the
Rodgers?
Titans did the Titans put together a good like offensive victory? Because every time I thought about the Titans,
I mean,
they're like,
that
they're a
time when-
defensive team.
I think Derrick Henry had like 300 yards a game for a
Against
couple
the
weeks.
Jags.
Okay, yeah.
That's
when-
pretty good. That's pretty good.
When Derrick Henry's running everyone over, like
That's
you,
not really
you just
scheming.
you just call him run up the middle and see what happens. But like I don't. This seems like a weird hire. Maybe I mean I'm sure Aaron Rodgers had a lot to do with the decision making for this.
I'm sure he's from some special coaching tree. You
Probably.
know, he coached under so and so. All this. So
Is he another Andy Reid product?
could be.
All right, and then as of today, just a few hours ago, the Cardinals hired former Texas Tech and USC coach Cliff Kingsbury as their head coach.
USC coach.
Yeah.
Reminder.
Quotes around that.
Reminder: Cliff Kingsbury was just fired from
From,
Texas
Tex-
Tech.
from Texas Tech,
And
a
he-
college, a bad college, a college that hasn't been good for years.
How long do we think it takes till he gets fired? Because like they just fired
Halfway
Steve
through the
Wilkes,
season.
one and done.
I mean,
Halfway through the
I
season.
think he'll go through the whole season.
I feel
I
like
think he's a good coach.
I think every time you fire someone in the NFL through like half a season where there's a lot of drama involved.
I think they hired him knowing that it'd be a project because he's a young coach, and I think this is all the Sean McVay effect.
They're all trying
You're
to-
looking for that young offensive mind, and Texas Tech always has a great offense, but their defense doesn't stop anyone. So they're always that team whenever you see a higher ranked team go up against, you're like, oh, this could be the upset because their offense could outscore them, but their defense will allow 70 points in the game.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
he'll,
it's okay to have like a project coach like that because Arizona is about to blow up the team.
Oh, yeah,
They're about to completely have to start over.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't going to be there. very
Maybe
soon.
he'll make Josh Rosen look good. I don't know. Probably not.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
that's pretty hard.
Well, if we're talking about young offensive minds, I think Bruce Arians definitely fits that bill.
Did you say beautiful?
No, Bruce Arians took the job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe the best coaching decision out of these three.
I only want to coach for the Browns. Quote Bruce Arians.
I hope he.
I mean, if someone
hope he
offered
does the
me
smart move.
millions
I think-
of dollars, I'd do just
Like, I
take
think
it.
the Buccaneers aren't a bad team. Like,
No.
they're just a couple.
They're just a couple
Do
pieces
the
short.
right thing and put Fitzmagic
Free
in.
Fitzmagic.
Get rid of Winston.
I think
Get a
BA
defense.
could do it. I think BA could make Fitzmagic throughout the entire
BA is
season.
pretty BA if you ask me.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're
That
gonna
hurt my
cut
soul.
out. I stuttered it.
Cut it.
Who Dad Jokes is podcast. And then the last kind of thing that's going on, Kevin Stefanski is being considered for the head coaching job at the Browns. And then also, who's the other guy? Freddie Kitchens.
Their OC.
Neither one of these guys have a whole lot of experience. I was reading something on ESPN today that said that combined, the two of them have 11 total games of play calling.
I was about to say, what about Stefanski there, just getting his job like week 11?
Yeah.
Like, let me get a head coaching
All
job
right.
next year.
I mean, he's still a better head coach than Hugh Jackson. So.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind either of these choices considering the head coach we started the year with. So,
I just-
I don't know. I think they'd be stupid to get away from Kitchens.
Yeah. If you, I mean, with the chemistry that him and Baker have right now, I mean. it'd be
oh no,
stupid.
yeah, no, I am
And
totally
so-
happy where we're at.
Here's the other thing about Stefanski is if you're the Vikings, do you you just put this guy as your head coach?
Offensive.
You just put this guy as your offensive coordinator, and if you're talking about the whole Kirk Cousins project being a failure or a success or going into the future, do you want to keep moving around these offensive coordinators in Minnesota?
I mean, the thing is, a lot of coordinators are just coordinators until they can get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're there for. So it's hard to keep people as coordinators because they don't get you don't hear about coordinators as much as you hear about the head coach.
Except
Until
for-
you're the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And you
I was
blow
gonna say-
it.
That's
Until you
incredible.
hire-
You want a head
Incredibly
coaching job.
strong.
until you hire the man Dirk Cutter back as your offensive coordinator.
Wow.
What was that accent?
What is
I
going
know.
on?
Welcome to Ohio.
Welcome
Do
to
you-
Ohio.
have we heard anything about Mike McCarthy? Just kind of chilling.
No.
Not yet, no.
He's
chilling.
looking at the Jets. At least the Jets. I mean,
Jets shouldn't be looking at him. Why is anybody looking at Mike McCarthy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's
Aaron-
garbage.
Aaron Rodgers is the reason he got run
Yeah,
out of
exactly.
town.
No, Aaron Rodgers is the reason he was ever in town. He was like-
That's fair.
I don't know.
if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy would have been fired 6 years ago. I don't even know if he was there 6 years.
He won.
He would've been
he
fired
deserved the
before he
Super
came
Bowl,
in.
I think.
So, I mean, out of all of these, I think the most interesting one will be Cliff Kingsbury. I'm kind of interested to see how the Arizona Cardinals do next year as opposed to the year after. If they stick with him, they could go 0-16 and they're like, all right, this isn't worth it and move on. But I don't know. If he can turn an NFL offense into what he had in the Big 12 offense, I think that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the Packers too. Their
Yeah.
offensive coordinator. See what he can do.
It's just a cool name.
It is.
But I mean, Kingsbury. So.
Yeah.
And Cliff with a K.
Stefanski.
Moving on to the Steelers here. There's reports saying that the Steelers are likely to trade Antonio Brown before, I think,
March
March
or
or
something
something. Yeah.
The juice be recruiting, my boys.
I know.
Just come to
The
the
juice be recruiting.
Come to the Giants.
He's not going
Boy.
to the Browns. There's no way.
I think the 49ers.
Here's the thing.
There's
If-
no way the Steelers would
Yeah,
let
the
him go.
Steelers-
in
Yeah,
division.
no, they're
The
not.
Steelers aren't
No.
going to trade him to an individual.
I mean, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb.
Hey,
So,
whoa.
like,
Also, who would they get? Draft
We
capital?
trade for Baker Mayfield and kick Ben Roethlisberger out of town.
just trade Jarvis Landry for
Just
Antonio Brown.
okay.
No.
So this is what you do. You take Ben, Bell,
Retired.
and Brown, put them on the Browns, and get Baker Mayfield. There's your team.
That's a
Only
horrible-
Baker
That's a
Mayfield.
horrible
No.
trade.
No, I mean,
Just
no.
kidding.
That's a terrible trade for the Browns.
We have to have the 3 most dysfunctional athletes in the NFL.
And Ben needs to
It's,
retire like
it's
8 years
Brown.
ago.
It's that's what the Browns do.
And they just
I'm
extended
kidding.
Ben's contract too, I believe. So apparently
Yeah.
he's not
You're
done.
kidding.
Get the hell out of town.
Why? Why?
Apparently he wants to choke again next season when they,
Ooh.
crumble.
Honestly, I think next year is going to be a rebuild year, especially if this Antonio Brown trade goes through.
And I mean,
And you've already
they're going
lost
to be double
Leonard.
teaming Juju Smith-Schuster, so you need a second wide receiver.
Man, that sucks.
That's
You guys
not-
are straight up gonna ruin Juju's career. I hope he leaves.
Like, honestly, Juju's, like,
Take him to the Ravens.
what's he going to do when he's getting double covered constantly because he's our only wide receiver?
Right.
Eli
trade-
Rogers.
Ryan Switzer.
Maybe. We do have...
No.
No,
Stop.
honestly, we have a tendency to make nobodies look decent. I mean, it's doable. Eli Rogers has put some, what? What are you giving me that look for?
I mean, Brown did come out of Western Michigan.
Instead of JJ
Central,
Watt.
yeah. And he's
Yeah,
like
he came out
5
of
foot.
Wisconsin.
He was there. No, him and JJ Watt were on the same team in Central Michigan, actually.
Was it Central?
Yeah, JJ was a tight end.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I knew that's where JJ went.
And then
but
the
I thought
best
it was-
Watt, Derek Watt, just chilling with the Chargers.
Honestly, the only one in the playoffs right now?
That's true. He almost had a touchdown catch.
Something
against
to
the
think
Ravens.
about. Maybe he's the best Watt.
I mean, look at the,
He
the
had that
leadership.
touchdown catch. They took it away
that
from
was
him.
bad. That was some weird calls on that.
I mean, come on, the
game, but-
fullbacks don't get enough love. Just let them have
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it was obviously a touchdown. His brothers said so.
And they're always right, because
Yeah.
Yeah, just
JJ.
just simply get Antonio Brown on the Giants.
It's not
So
happening.
they'll still
Okay,
miss
so
the
Eli
the
probably
playoffs.
wins about, I don't know.
3 more rings.
Just to be light, I'll say 4 more.
4. Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so where do you honestly think he'll go? Like, 1 or 2 teams where you think
I
he could
think
end
the
up?
49ers, honestly.
49ers.
They have
I mean,
money,
given
and
his
like he's been
tweets-
liking, he's been like
Yeah,
interested
given
in
the
him.
tweets.
And if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back, Brown
That'd be
and George
scary.
Kittle,
That'd be
and
scary.
then if they get
That's
a healthy
true.
running back,
What if he goes to Jacksonville? They're wide
why would you
receiver
want to go
needing
to
team.
Jacksonville?
Well, they
Because
need
they're
wide
a
receivers.
quarterback and receivers away from a playoff.
So
place.
here,
I don't think
hear me out.
Oh, they can trade him, so he doesn't really have a choice where he can.
So hear me out. The Miami Dolphins trade for Antonio Brown and one of the Eagles' quarterbacks, and they make the playoffs next year.
Nick Foles,
Ooh.
One of the two.
With the new head coach too.
yeah.
Do you think that a head coach comes in, makes these bold moves,
No.
and somehow manages to pull off
Well, because they
the
need
craziest
they
offseason?
I
need a
think,
new
uh,
head coach.
There are a
I think
couple-
Nick Foles and AB takes him to the Super Bowl. I don't think Carson Wentz and
Yeah, Carson Wentz.
Oh,
doesn't
here's
have
the
that
thing.
experience.
I think Nick Foles is very much an Eagle system quarterback.
Well, yeah.
We'll talk about Nick
We'll
Foles.
talk about that.
Yeah.
We've got some.
I'm gonna tell you.
Besides the Giants, Troy. What do you
What?
Hear
got?
me out. Hear me out.
Where's AB going?
Indianapolis.
Ooh.
I like
would
that.
be-
I like
the
that
Colts
a
have
lot.
a boatload
Could you
of
imagine
money
if they
right
got-
now, so they
Oh.
can afford to pay him. They definitely have young assets.
All their
and
best
draft
players
picks.
are rookies.
Yes.
Oh my
Could you
gosh.
imagine if they had Le'Veon
Imagine.
Bell and Antonio Brown with Andrew
that'd
Luck?
be
Andrew
crazy.
Luck and
The
give
Chiefs don't
Andrew
have a
Luck,
chance.
Antonio Brown, and T.Y. Hilton to throw to,
Oh
plus
my
Eric Ebron and Jack
gosh.
Doyle.
I don't think the Chiefs would have a
Come on
chance.
now.
Step,
'Cause they have a
like,
good defense.
in my opinion, Luck's a step up from Ben too.
Yeah, come on.
Like,
Step up.
Yeah.
Luck is an elevator, like 3 flights up.
Look at what he's
from
doing with
Ben
these receivers
Roethlisberger.
they have now. Like,
Luck is
So
insane.
let's take. I just pulled something up. Salary cap for 2019. The top 5 teams. Number 1 is Indianapolis. They have the most salary
That
cap.
makes a lot of sense.
Beating out the Jets by $13 million.
Jeez.
wow.
So second place is Jets. Third place is Buffalo. Fourth place is Cleveland.
Yeah.
And in 5th place is Oakland, who could use a wide receiver.
But they need a quarterback.
Why is it
Yeah.
John Gruden can trade him in week 2?
For a first
I mean,
rounder.
I'm really liking this Colts idea. That would be,
That'd be-
like they could find a way to trade for Brown and then use a lot of their leftover space because apparently they are loaded.
Actually, I take that back. They have $20 million more than the Jets. They have $122 million in
Put
cap
him on the
space.
Saints.
And
Like,
that's
imagine the
crazy.
money you could drop on Bell in free agency and then
it
just
really wouldn't make a dent in your.
no, not at all.
So here's the thing: Pittsburgh is $12 million in cap space in being almost at the bottom of the list.
He has the
Wow.
lowest.
Philadelphia with negative 13.4
that
million.
Okay, never
that also
mind.
makes sense. They have a
If they
very good
trade a-
roster.
So
If they trade AB, do they have
So
to
they
eat some
have-
of that salary?
They were-
Yeah,
Yes.
because of that big contract he
Yeah.
got.
they were trying to restructure Ben so that they could do it.
Wait, are they? So are they paying Le'Veon Bell this year? Like,
No.
since
No.
he didn't show, so he
Since he didn't
get
report,
paid
what was it by week
paid like
10
what?
or whatever?
Yeah.
He was going to get paid like $14 million, wasn't he?
It was.
It's a
It was
decent
more than
amount.
enough for a human being, but not enough for Le'Veon Bell.
Honestly, if I was Le'Veon Bell, I'd have came back week 10, faked an ACL injury, and never played the Steelers.
Got your money.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like branching off to Bell, is he going to be like he'll be good, but is he going to be?
It'll take him a
he's-
couple weeks.
Like, because he's not played for a year now.
I mean,
He hasn't played for a year, and the Steelers' run game looked pretty good without him.
So maybe
When
it's
Connor
just
was
this-
healthy.
The thing is
So-
Le'Veon Bell he's the type of person. He's a guy that wants to win. So it's like
Good thing he left.
I'm
No, he
telling-
doesn't. He wants
well-
money.
well, the thing
he
is,
wants
no,
to
I'm
make
s-
dollars.
I'm saying, well, I mean, obviously the situation in Pittsburgh was tired for him.
I think he
so
wants to protect himself.
if Indy gives him like, hey man, we're gonna give you 1 year, how much you want for it? 1 year, $14 million. Prove me that I should give you 4 for
Why not?
$65 million.
Because if you're a GM, would you want to sign into a huge contract after him?
And I mean, think about this: you're moving from the Steelers O line, which is arguably really good, to a young, up and coming, really good Colts offensive line
With a great quarterback,
with a great quarterback and a
decent defense.
good defense and a wide receiver and a tight end. But I mean, like, I don't think there's anywhere else in the league that's as good looking to a lot of players entering free agency as Indianapolis right now.
Yeah, I mean,
And I mean, they
like we're
could still
talking
make
about
the
this
the
team.
Super Bowl this year too.
Yeah, like
You
we're
don't
talking
have-
about this team potentially going to the Super Bowl. You imagine adding Antonio
Right.
Brown
I-
and Le'Veon Bell to that
Or,
mix?
I mean, one or the other. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
Would they do that to Marlon Mack though? Because Marlon Mack has been playing pretty freaking
you
good.
can-
You can easily do a 2-back set. I
Well,
think that would make it
honestly,
way
that
more
would,
dangerous.
that would make Le'Veon Bell happy because his whole thing is I don't want to get injured so I can make more money.
Yeah.
See,
He doesn't
I
want
think that was a
30
big thing.
carries
That's
game.
why Le'Veon wanted so much money in Pittsburgh. I mean, this guy's getting 35
Yeah.
carries
They
a
never had
game,
a
And all
plus 10
the
receptions.
Yeah.
And like he's just getting beat down.
Right.
And so like he's like, yeah, I need money to secure myself, and which I completely agree
I
with.
understand
Yeah.
it.
But,
Especially
yeah,
after,
so-
who was it that was also doing this for
Earl
the
Thomas.
Seahawks? And then he, like, immediately gets hurt.
yeah.
Like, everyone's praising him, like, he's still doing it. Look at that Le'Veon Bell.
You
And then he
wanna get
immediately
traded.
gets his,
Yeah.
like, leg
Yeah, like that was
exploded or something.
perfect like example.
And he's like,
of
yep, that's what
Le'Veon's
happens.
doing.
And Bell was literally like, you see what I meant?
Yeah, I mean, it can be. I mean, even if Le'Veon's only there for a few years or something, it can be like a kind of passing of the torch thing
Yeah.
to Marlon Mack if that's the guy that they want to go with.
I think that would be
for-
like a dynasty, like, right away.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
just
I'd be
like,
scared
think- I mean-
5 in a row. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, I think it was kind of like
Maybe.
DeMarco Murray, there with the Titans those last few years or whatever. He wasn't great, but he was still like
Yeah.
He produced.
he's
He's like Frank Gore.
yeah,
He's still
I think?
kicking it in the
Still
league.
kicking.
I forgot his name.
Who?
LaShawn
Derrick
McCoy.
Henry?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Oh,
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, like Derrick Henry definitely learned something from DeMarco Murray.
Obviously.
Marlon Mack can definitely learn
Maybe
something from
next
Le'Veon
year
Bell.
the Titans will just give the ball to Derrick Henry more because apparently that works.
It seems to do all right.
All right. So we spent a lot of time on that. Why don't we talk about the jolly old Saint Nick himself? Why don't we move on to your boy,
Nick.
Mr. Nick Foles, and what in the world are the Eagles going to do?
I have some things to say. I have a lot to say on this
Okay.
topic.
All right, Matthew.
All right, so
Shiflett.
I guess I have 2 questions to pose. One, if your playoff run ends today, what do you do with Nick Foles? If you win the Super Bowl, what do you do with Nick Foles?
Well, listen, hold on. They're playing the Saints. If they beat the Saints,
Yeah.
I think your
yeah.
question
Okay,
gets
I'm
a
t-
whole
which I
lot
hope they-
harder.
I'm gonna
hope
tell you
they
right
don't.
now, my answer to both of those questions is you don't get rid of him.
I don't think you can.
Because you don't have a backup quarterback after that. Nate Sudfeld? Like,
Well, I mean, you can always.
I mean, you can always
sign
get a new one, but
lesser
like you don't have
yeah.
a backup quarterback like Nick Foles.
Well, the thing
Because
is,
Carson Wentz isn't proven to be a healthy
But
player.
you also, so we looked at the salary cap. They have the least salary cap. They're in
They
debt.
don't have any salary cap.
Yeah.
So if Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, especially if Nick Foles is winning, he's going to want some money. You have to do something.
So
You
he-
don't
Do you
have
think
the
Nick
money.
It's
Foles?
hard.
You think Nick Foles asked for money instead of?
Is his contract up?
I mean, do you
So,
think he'd want like a
here's the
little
thing with
bit
Nick
more?
Foles' contract.
I think Nick Foles
He has-
knows who Nick Foles is.
Nick Foles has a option to where he can keep or he can come back, or this is his last year. Like he has an option to come back next
That's
year.
hard. Like I don't know if he wants to be that star on a team and play.
So
Put
all
him
the
in a
time.
corner, Nick. Tell him, hey, trade Carson or I'm gone.
They would. I don't think they'd ever trade Carson though.
this offseason is gonna be exciting.
So here's the thing that really got me thinking is like I know I could never be in the like front office of an NFL team because I'm a dude of like loyalty. Nick Foles has done me so well as on the Eagles, right? He's taken me to the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl against the Patriots. We're on our way to another Super Bowl. If you beat the Saints and you go to a second Super Bowl with Nick Foles, I can't look at you and say like, sorry, buddy, you're back on the bench now because Carson's healthy again, just to get injured again. My thought is you trade Carson Wentz like the hot commodity that he is. Before he gets injured a third time,
Get that-
you look like the smartest team of all time because, you know, you got rid of a player that ends up getting injured again. And you still have Nick Foles, who probably ends up demanding less money than Carson Wentz would have. Do you look like geniuses if you pull this off?
it becomes a gamble no matter what decision you make here, I think.
And
Because
I kind of want to flip that. If you
Okay.
get rid of Foles, I don't think he looks good in any other system.
But the thing is,
I would argue.
the thing is, like,
Maybe.
what if you're thinking that in your head and you're like, you know, we would want a little more for Nick, but we'll take this deal, and you know, he goes to Jacksonville. Next thing you know, Eagles make the Super Bowl. Oh, we're playing against Nick Foles in the Super Bowl against the Jacks. Like,
Well, that's the other thing is like if you get rid of one or the other, you just make sure you trade them. So the only way you can play them is in the Super Bowl. At which point, like you did this to yourself, you deserve to get played.
and like they have a decent situation because at least they have quarterbacks that they're not like terrible. So
yeah,
What if
But-
what if Foles decides to go, hey, I don't want to come back next year?
Yeah,
they
well,
really
yeah.
can't. They can't.
they can't afford
It
it.
honestly is all on him right now to make the decision. And
How old is he?
but if you're the
It's like
Eagles, are you going to fight for
30,
that?
30, something like that.
I say he goes to New York. He's the bridge between Eli and the next
Dwayne
one.
Haskins.
Just going,
I don't want to.
he's 29, so he's still got some.
He's still
You're
got
just
10 more
salty.
years in
Whoever,
him.
whoever that white safety is from Clemson, that's what I want. Guy's got grit. I like
No, so Nick Foles has a good 10 more years in him. 8 at least. You can put together a team for the next 5+ years around Nick Foles. Like, you can't pass that up. Especially not the way he's been playing the past 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Carson Wentz was like, his rookie year was so great and all this thing, but it's really kind of like a "what have you done for me lately" thing, you know?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the-
look at Derek Carr.
He had
did
one
great
good
a
year,
couple of years
and then he
ago.
got that huge contract, and he's just like,
Now look at him.
right, I'm here.
He
Take my
was
money.
crying in the huddle. Nobody
Yeah.
respects him.
And so, like, I mean, you look at Nick Foles, and like he's like the good guy. He's always gonna be there for you, and he's always playing his best, and he's showing you success. I don't know. I think you take a gamble and go with him and build
You
a
can
team
always
around
have
him.
you can always have one good year, but if you can't sustain that,
Yeah.
then like
here's the thing: if you get to your second ring, you got 2 rings with the
You
guy.
really got to
yeah.
consider it.
And this
then.
one was without Carson Wentz because Wentz didn't do. They weren't even in the playoff on
I
before
would,
Wentz.
but
was.
you got to argue though.
But they lost.
They had no like they were freaking injured. They had the biggest injury bug I'd argue in the NFL.
Yeah, so
Their entire backfield was gone. Their I think Alshon was out, and then Carson got hurt, and then Foles came in, and then everybody started getting healthy. I hate you guys.
The high five was not supposed to connect.
We both went way too far. Alright.
Can you leave that in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
We are
yeah,
off the rails.
I mean, I think you're right. They did have injuries to deal with.
Plus, they have the most toxic locker room right now. They decided to sign Michael Bennett, and like everybody out of that
I didn't agree
Seahawks
with that,
area.
Dude's
Yeah, didn't,
The
didn't
most
he kick
toxic?
an old lady?
Who
Yeah.
would
I'm pretty sure the Steelers had a pretty toxic
okay,
because
I'll
there's
give
a
you
lot
that.
of stuff going
Something's
on.
wrong
there.
with PA.
Something's
wrong with
going
PA.
crazy over there.
No, but they also had a very toxic situation in the locker room. I don't blame it all on Carson because he was also hurt at the beginning of the season too. I mean, and Carson also came in and played
It's just
pretty well.
It's just if you
But
want
then we
to.
roll back to the question:
if
does
you wanna-
Carson get hurt again in the future?
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
want to
I-
put all of your
you're
chips
fair.
on Carson Wentz? Because
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, a few weeks ago, we were like, are the Eagles even going to make the playoffs again?
I didn't think they were. I didn't think they were that
We,
good of a
we
team.
all thought they
I
were
think
out.
if Carson Wentz was still in, I don't think they would have made it.
You know what's hilarious
It's a
about
completely
that?
different team.
And
I
maybe
mean, the Bears kind of chose to play the Eagles. You know, they could have just threw it away that last game.
That's true. That's true. Oh my god, I never even thought of that.
They're like, Nick Foles ain't going to do it again. Ah, he did it again. Come on.
that's true.
We got you here, and you're just going to do us dirty like that?
Because you'd rather face Kirk Cousins in the playoffs than Nick Foles anyways, let's be honest.
And you know, maybe Nick Foles has a fire under his butt because he needs to prove himself coming in as the underdog, and maybe that's what makes him so good is being the underdog. Maybe that really just drives him. So maybe you have him at a comfortable position as a starter, and he's not as driven. I don't know.
I mean,
you know, the mental
at the beginning of the
state.
season.
Yeah.
I've said this before, and it's like it's kind of hard to think about. Like it's kind of hard to be so good when you have the constant thought of you being replaced. Like, think about a few years ago with Ohio State when they had Cardell Jones and JT Barrett. I mean, both of them at times were just looking real skittish because they're like, I make one mistake.
Yeah.
You know, the other guy's coming in for me. You know, I'm getting replaced.
It gets so
Don't
much
forget
harder
about
to
the
play at
great.
that point.
Don't forget about the great Braxton Miller. All right.
He was a wide receiver.
Yeah, but before he was
Literally, he's a wide receiver.
Who's playing for the Eagles right now?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Does he actually play?
He's either on the he's either on the practice squad or he's on the
I mean, at
active
least he's
roster.
on a team. Like, but so is what Jake O'Corn,
No, John O'Corn.
John,
John.
Jake,
Have some
John,
respect.
Jake, whatever.
There's no need to respect that.
I love how when he signed with the Lions, they were like, "What are you doing? Like, you already screwed us in Michigan. You're gonna screw us in Detroit too."
Jake Rudolph was there. He was in Detroit too.
So the next question is: out of the playoff teams this year, before the free agency, who do you think won't make it next year?
So, honestly, and I know it sounds like a real home team kind of thing, I don't think the Ravens will make it next year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So here's why. You look at how strong the AFC West is. I don't think that the Chiefs and the Chargers are I think one of those teams gets another wild card spot. So that's gone. I think the Browns, as much as I hate to say it, if Antonio Brown leaves and Le'Veon Bell is gone, we have no idea how decent or not Ben Roethlisberger is going to be. The Steelers could fall out of playoff contention.
Which is good.
The Browns take the division.
Yeah.
And so now the Ravens are fighting again for a wild card spot.
Which they can do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but there's one other team in the league that takes that.
Because I'm not worried about the Bengals, and then the AFC South is like, you know.
Really, you're at this point. I think next year
the
you're fighting
Titans
for
are right there.
Yeah, they
for a
were.
wild card.
I have the same pick as you, Matt.
Thank you.
I have the same pick too, and I'll tell you
Because
why.
there's a lot of stuff to iron out there. I mean, there's 15 minutes left in the game, and half your fan base is screaming for Joe Flacco still. I mean, you guys.
When your fan base is wanting Joe Flacco,
That
you know you have a
was,
problem.
that was bad for.
Yeah, I
Ravens
mean, you know,
fans.
they got some things to iron out because it's been shown clearly when you stop the run game.
But I mean, they still have
What
that
are we
great
doing?
defense though,
So-
they could split it up.
Matt brought up a lot of good points, and that's what I also thought. But here's the thing: John Harbaugh might not be there, so they have an entirely new coaching
I've been
staff.
hearing that they're trying to extend him to a bigger contract.
Wow.
Wait,
So,
didn't they just extend him?
Yeah,
I
they
guess
they
like they're
said
trying
they
to
were
work out
going
a
to.
long term.
No, like I think they gave him like a 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which he might not be there. It's true, but I mean,
And
might
then
trade him, apparently.
the other reason is they don't have a quarterback that knows how to throw the football if they get rid of Joe Flacco, because Lamar Jackson showed that he's not consistent.
It's like this.
Well, you know,
With Joe
He was coming
Flacco,
back
they
up
had a
anyway, so.
losing record, and Lamar ignited that team and led them to the playoffs on a 6-1 record. Which,
yeah, that's
okay,
true.
Peyton Manning had 28 picks his rookie year.
Yeah,
Everyone probably thought, oh, this guy's not going to do anything. Turned out to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL history.
turned out to be the second best Manning.
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I'm not saying Lamar can take from what he's learned this year, and he can be really good like Patrick Mahomes.
I would just
No, I mean not like he don't throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes, but he can step up.
Tell them how you really feel, Dan.
I mean, you know,
Well,
I'm just tired of people saying he needs to be a running back because he was a quarterback in college. He did great, and I think
Yeah.
he's doing a good job now.
He's way too small to be a runner.
Yeah, if he was a running back, he'd be
he'd be killed.
I don't think he'd be a wide receiver either because it's not.
No.
Quarterbacks and wide receivers usually never works out. Like Terrell Pryor had one good year somehow with the Browns,
What's with Ohio State quarterbacks?
and now where is he? He
They're
can't
not
even
good.
make the Jets,
Come on.
and he gets injured all
So
the time.
I have a question for you then. How much of his success this year was because of his running, and how much was because of his passing? And do you think?
I mean, he reinvented the running game. So then, like, they didn't have to pass the ball as much because they relied on the running so much in the defense.
But he only
But
had
it
one
doesn't-
200-yard passing game.
I mean, listen, this is his first year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Jared
going to have
Goff
time.
looked terrible, and he looks all right now.
He's gonna have time to work on his stuff. I'm sure that's all they're gonna be working on.
Yeah.
Because
Jared Goff also played.
Well,
Jeff
what I
Fisher
was
as
getting
well.
at-
That is true. Jeff Fisher.
But what I was getting at with that question is, does he look like a quarterback?
I think he does at times. Okay, he's inconsistent.
Yeah.
All right, but he can improve on it. You can't just be
Yeah.
like, he's a terrible quarterback after like
No, that's
8
not what
games.
I'm saying. I'm just saying
Like people can't just be like, he can't pass the ball.
he
Like,
has to. He
it takes
definitely
time to
has to
improve.
work
Yeah.
on becoming the quarterback rather than
Right.
just like
I think
the
it's-
jack of all
I mean,
trades.
like,
You put
Cam Newton-
seven DBs in front of Breeze, Rodgers, Brady.
Oh, my
Any of these
goodness.
guys, they're still gonna dice those guys up.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, obviously he's not at that level.
Here's the
Right.
thing: people said that about Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow could not throw. He could not throw over 50%. And where's he now? All he could do is run. Where's he now?
Pretty good in
he's still
baseball.
with the Mets.
Yeah.
But
Still making money.
he's not a quarterback.
Triple A,
Triple
really?
A, he's
Nice.
moved up.
One step,
Writing
one step
books.
below.
He's,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
like his books are good. He's not a quarterback, and that's what he wanted to do.
Sidebar: we think Tebow makes the show.
I think.
I'd love that.
oh my
Dude,
god,
I'm rooting
if
for
I
him.
got to talk to Tim Tebow in person, I would die.
He's
Spend
he's
a
an
day with him,
amazing
hang
guy.
out,
He seems like such a cool guy.
throw the
yeah.
ball around.
get right on that.
But like,
Tim,
He's
got my
actually
vote.
meant, does he make it to the majors?
I think. I think.
I thought you meant this show. I was like,
I think-
okay.
yeah, but Tim, yeah, come on, man.
I could see him in the majors. I think they do it for PR if nothing less.
I mean, the Mets are.
The Mets are bad.
anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody can
Anyway,
make the Mets.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know. I think that Lamar, he does have to improve on his passing, and he didn't show me anything this year that says he's even stepped up his game throwing.
well, he hasn't had much of a chance.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
with
he's
you.
the
I
only
agree
rookie
with
quarterback
you.
to make the playoffs.
I will say I'm hopeful. So like,
He's
I,
like the-
But
throw
that
to,
team
He was. I would.
rallied around him though.
I would-
When they were cheering for Joe Flacco, one of the cornerbacks was like, "Hey, shut up." He's like, "This is the reason why he got here, because of Lamar Jackson." Because if Joe Flacco would have stayed in the rest after the bye, they would
Probably
have
still
made
be
the
in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Oh no.
No,
Probably still be.
because they couldn't run the ball. They were terrible. Sorry, Joe, but like I'm done with him anyways. So.
yeah, like I pose this question
Yeah,
not because
how
I'm trying
fast
to
they
be,
turn.
not trying to
I
be
gave him
like,
way too many chances. I'm like, oh, this will be his year, and then he was like started out all right against the Bills.
Dude, like
And-
I was praying Joe Flacco came in there, monster comeback,
Oh.
leads him to the Super Bowl, gets another big contract.
I was waiting for it.
No,
But like, I think they stuck with the right. I mean, Lamar is going to learn from that playoff experience.
I don't.
And we'll see
I
what
disagree.
happens in the offseason. But for my playoff team, if Carson Wentz is there next year, I don't think the Eagles will make it.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean,
They barely made it this year,
I mean,
and
listen-
the Vikings might be better next year. The Packers, they're not. I don't see the Packers having a losing record.
the cap space thing.
Yeah.
They have a very talented roster, but they were very close this
they're on
year.
the
They
edge.
can't run the ball.
They have the worst division in football.
Their leading running back is Darren Sproles, which he's good. But
He's
like,
old.
he's more of a receiving back.
I mean, JJ.
Well,
He's coming back, isn't he?
I think he is. He
Why
doesn't
wouldn't
want to
he?
retire. Unless they have Jay Ajayi, but I don't
Jay
think
Ajayi's hurt.
he wasn't that good with Philadelphia.
Wentz is hurt.
anyways.
He was really good with Philadelphia.
He's all right.
He and LeGarrette Blunt, like,
Yeah, LeGarrette Blunt was the man, though.
no.
Yeah.
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 Jay Ajayi had like a couple good games with the Dolphins, and then like he didn't do much with the Eagles. But they have like 8 running backs. I don't even know all their names because they use so many. But I don't think the Eagles will make it next year.
I think they have a lot to work out in the offseason is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They just
Yeah,
have a lot
they
to
do.
figure out.
Everyone has a lot to work
Well,
out in the offseason.
I honestly think the two choices brought up are like the most likely. Maybe the Seahawks, but they were considered to be rebuilding this year.
What about if Drew Brees retires?
He won't.
Okay, let's just say like
He won't.
I know he won't, but if he retires and Teddy Bridgewater takes over,
Teddy
do you think
won't.
the Saints?
No, Taysom Hill steps up. Probably Taysom Hill.
Isn't that just a bigger, stronger Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. Probably better too.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
No,
I almost said white.
Taysom
But to your
Hill.
question, he
it's
won't.
accurate.
Yeah, he won't.
We have to edit that part out.
What?
White?
And then like if Tom Brady retires,
Pat,
He's not retiring. He's playing until he's 70.
I honestly don't think he'll retire this year, and I think even if he gets just one last year, it'll still be good enough to get a 6th seed. Like,
and I can also see the Texans maybe slipping a little bit too.
Who, the Patriots?
No, well,
You said
What?
the Patriots get a 6th seed?
no, I'm saying like even if Tom Brady plays bad next year.
oh yeah,
That's what
because
I'm
that
saying.
division's
Like,
Brian Hoyer
terrible.
probably just comes in.
I don't
Simmons.
mind Brian
No,
Hoyer, not gonna lie.
they have
I
that
like him.
quarterback from LSU. Etling or something like that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's all they got.
Yeah, he had like a 79-yard rushing
did.
touchdown
It was
in
nuts.
preseason against the Giants, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I never saw him
Never
again.
saw him again.
And you probably never will. So
Okay.
Until he plays 4 games.
Who do
That's a
you
monster
have?
contract.
I was gonna say the Eagles.
the Eagles.
We already, touched a lot on that. It's a salary thing. They're not gonna be able to make very many moves thing, and they were on the brink this year.
And their secondary's not that great either.
It's spotty.
It's
They
spotty. It's spotty.
they had a lot of plays in that wild card game. I was like, wow, this is a really good defense. And then they had plays where I was like,
But if they can
what
stop,
happened to the
if
defense?
they can stop Drew Brees, then I'll be like, all right, kudos to you guys. But I mean,
If it happens, I will be shocked. I'll be slightly upset because I want the Saints to win because
We
we
all-
all love Drew Brees. But like the content.
and as long as the Cowboys don't win another game,
Honestly,
I mean, the more you say that, the more they're gonna win. So
I know,
stop
right?
playing it.
I think they can beat the Rams, but I just don't want.
honestly,
them to beat
when the Giants like cleaned house and then drafted Saquon Barkley, I was a little bit upset because I just could not wait to be a Saints fan. And I was like, if we don't fire Jerry Reese and McAdoo and draft Saquon Barkley, I'm a Saints fan. And
Hey, nice
we did
how
all
I
of it.
feel.
We did all of it.
How I feel.
Saints are easily my second favorite
Saints
team.
are mine,
Saints
too.
have always been.
Yeah.
Saints or Eagles?
So we have 2 more questions.
Ooh.
Out of these teams at the table that are represented here, we got the Giants, we got the Ravens, we got the Bengals, we got the Steelers, and we got the Browns.
The Browns.
If you had to no longer be a fan of your team, which of these other 4 would you go to?
Oh, which one of the ones at the table?
Yeah,
the
at
Giants.
the table.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns because they're the only team at the table that's looking up right now.
Wow, you're just in a bandwagon. Like,
Well, I mean, really.
Well,
plus it's home state. I've always cheered for the Browns just because, I
go
want
to
them to
the
win.
Bengals?
I want them to win.
what about the Bengals?
I mean, you really-
No one likes Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a
their
Reds fan.
fans think Andy Dalton's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, they don't.
And he's like
You do.
lower.
I do, and I can make an argument for it.
Uh,
We don't have to now, but I
We've
definitely
got
can.
time in the offseason. You know who else has time in the offseason? Andy Dalton.
He's injured.
and
They
Ben.
all do.
He's got a lot of time
Just
right
start.
now.
Just put Jeff Driscoll in
Anyway.
there.
No, Jeff Driscoll's bad.
I'd have to go with the Giants because I can't go in division to any of these guys.
Hey,
So.
hey, G-Man, look it up.
Good G-Man.
Got us
I
some
mean,
new fans.
Blaine.
Easily the decision is the Giants. Love me some Eli. Saquon Barkley's fun to watch. Like, Odell Beckham Jr. is a crazy human being on and off the field.
I think you just named the top 3 NFL players of all time.
I mean,
Hey, do you know, I think Troy posed this so that we could all say we're Giants fans.
I think secretly he knew.
Honestly, I had no clue. I thought everybody was gonna go Ravens or
I thought
Browns.
I was thinking more Browns people.
Yeah,
but
I thought everybody was
guess.
gonna go Browns or Ravens.
That's my second. That'd be my second.
So,
So
like-
I actually have 2. Go ahead.
No,
No,
you go first.
I was gonna say I would be a Giants or Browns fan because I could not be a Steelers or Ravens fan.
What is it about Steelers that's just so
I hate them.
polarizing?
I hate the
hate
fans.
them. I hate
It's
them.
because-
Not you, man.
Ben
but
Roethlisberger.
a lot of the fans are just,
Well, it's because the Steelers were the Patriots for a long time.
and they haven't really.
No.
Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
the Patriots have been good for like the past 10 years.
The
15.
Steelers did it
To
back
me-
in the 70s and 80s.
The reason I hate
Have
the Steelers
any of you
is
been alive since
Yes,
the 70s or
but
80s?
we've all heard the stories. We know everything. That's all we ever hear from
So,
Steelers fans.
this is why-
we know. We
This
get
is,
it.
This is why I never want to be a Steelers fan.
they
Wild
suck.
card game
Ooh, wrecked.
2015.
Wow.
Wild card 2015.
When
That's all I gotta
the
say.
Bengals and Steelers, when it
Yeah.
got ugly, and you guys can never beat the Steelers.
That game broke
The
my heart.
Bengals should have won that game.
They 100% should
How
have won
many
that game.
Steelers
Did
players
Vontaze
did you
Burfict
injure that
stab
year?
somebody in that
Yeah,
game?
how many Steelers players did you guys injure that year?
How many Bengals players did you freaking injure too?
Oh no!
Listen,
no.
Andy
we
Dalton!
all
Andy
know.
Dalton!
We all know that the Steelers versus the Bengals is the
Vontaze-
Thug Bowl. We get it.
Vontaze Burfict alone injured all 3 of our star players.
Well,
that
listen,
year.
he's not on the team anymore.
Praise the Lord.
Actually,
What I
You better
find
not
funny
be.
about that rivalry is that the Bengals think it's a rivalry.
Yeah, and the Steelers are like,
And
the
the
Steelers
Steelers
are
are
like, we
like-
want nothing to do
And
with
they're
you.
like,
Well, see, the thing
Ravens
is, the
play
media,
tougher.
the media is tricked us into thinking it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's a rivalry. And then you look back at it and
When
you're like,
have
oh,
the-
they haven't won in like
when-
20 years.
Yeah.
When have the Bengals actually beat the Steelers?
Here's the thing
It's been
about
like it's like 3 seasons or something.
You know, the only NFL game I ever went to, we whooped the Bengals.
It's all-
D'Angelo Williams with 2 touchdowns
Oh,
in his
great
final year of
game.
the season.
Oh.
Great
What a
game.
guy.
Here's the thing about the Bengals Steelers rivalry. Even though the Bengals don't win
Rivalry.
every single game except for maybe that one, is a good game to watch.
It's kind of like Michigan and Ohio
There's
State
nothing
right
good
now.
about
Like,
watching all
Michigan
your
hasn't
players
won a
get
game
injured.
in a while.
No, but it's a good competitive game throughout the entire thing.
Don't use the word good when everyone gets
It's a
hurt.
competitively fun game to
Yeah,
watch.
if you
There's
were,
nothing fun about that.
yeah, like if you were a fan of NFL Blitz or whatever, that's a great game to watch.
NFL Street. Like you got 7-on-7 Street. Like people.
Oh, okay. So the longest win streak for each team is the Bengals had 6 in a row from 1988 to 1990.
Okay.
The Steelers had 8 in a row from 1991 to 1994. That doesn't. Oh yeah,
And then again.
20, and again from 2014 to now.
Wow.
Nice.
So
It's not even a rivalry.
regular season series, it's 62 to 35 in favor of the Steelers. And
They try.
That's as
Oh, yeah.
lopsided as Ohio State and Michigan.
Pretty much.
I can't even find. Oh, come on,
No.
now. Come on.
You know,
Okay.
Michigan
I just
has
sneak
more
that
wins.
in.
If we're talking history, yeah, but the Steelers are destroying them
What
now.
are we talking about in the 21st century? We
So,
can talk about that.
It don't matter if we won them championships with leather helmets on. They're up in the banners. those
Just
things
like
are up in the
the
rafters.
Cowboys.
That is the Michigan
the
mentality right
Packers and
there.
all that. So for me, I think I'd just rather die, honestly.
Way to go back on topic.
So for me, I
Keeping it in
could
line.
never like the Steelers and the Bengals, and I hate every team from New York because I'm a Boston fan.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
pretty ugly.
I mean, I would have to choose the Browns only because I respect Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward. I like Nick Chubb too, but like I would probably just
Stop watching
just,
the NFL.
Yeah, because I just can't
Probably
do it.
respect
You tell me you don't
Eli
like the
Manning
juice?
No, I don't like.
He's
Chubb.
the
juice
spark
is
that
loose.
lights
I
that
never
team.
liked. I didn't think he was that great in Miami. I don't think he's that
He's
great
the
now.
spark to that team.
I mean, he's all right. He's no Michael Crabtree, but he's
You
all
telling
right.
me that the juice doesn't light a fire into that team in the locker room?
I'm
Baker
just saying there's a
Mayfield.
lot of better receivers in the league.
Well, no. I'm not saying that he's the best receiver in the league. I'm not saying that at
maybe
all.
like 10.
He's a great slot receiver,
Yeah,
but
he's not a good number one.
he's the juice to the team. That's all I'm saying. Just so we all know, the college football playoff happened.
It was terrible.
Clemson showed up, and Alabama left their entire team back in Tuscaloosa, I guess. I don't understand. I don't want to pretend to understand to know how this happened. Everything pointed to just absolute annihilation from Alabama to Clemson, but the game ended 44-16 with
They got
Clemson.
bodied.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
people were talking like 5 weeks ago, like, hey, you think Alabama could beat the Raiders? And people were like, oh, yeah, probably.
Like, I mean,
Don't they do that every year with
Yeah,
Alabama?
because
here's-
Duke won its first game. Like, can they beat the Cavs? And I'm like, stop.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I hate when they compare college and
Cavs aren't the worst team in the league. So
okay.
I don't like
Who-
the
who-
Bulls.
yeah, the Bulls.
All
are
right,
really
all
bad.
right.
I mean, it's a toss up.
At least you got Colin.
I'd love to see like
Young
a
bull.
like a basketball exhibition though. That'd be cool.
He's
Because like
Yeah.
football, you wouldn't want to do that. People are gonna get hurt.
No, yeah, people are gonna get hurt real bad.
But like basketball, I could see it. That'd be cool.
The NFL hits so much harder.
Oh, yeah.
But
You can't hit the quarterback though.
like, I mean, none of us can honestly say that we even imagined this happening.
I did not think that alien Trevor Lawrence was gonna do that to this.
So let's talk
Jar
about
Jar
Trevor
Binks.
Lawrence for a while.
Jar Jar Binks.
20 of 32, 347 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Binks called Jar Jar Binks.
I did.
He looks pretty bad.
But people say that he's the best quarterback prospect ever.
Nope.
Peyton
like-
Manning was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that boy coming out of Mississippi, you know. Eli
All
Manning,
right,
looked pretty
all
good.
right, all right.
I don't know.
Are you gonna put Eli Manning in every single discussion ever?
I think he
Like,
should be. I think he should be in every discussion.
Worst quarterback ever, Eli Manning.
It's like Georgia. Kittle just broke the record for tight end, but you know who would have broken it?
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
I'll tell you right now, you split Eli wide, he's probably got the same amount of catches as Odell.
All right. All right. So anyway, I mean, listen. Justin Ross, their wide receiver, is a freshman. Trevor Lawrence is a freshman.
Wow.
Justin Ross had 6 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown.
One of them, the Alabama guy, broke his leg or something. They just kept going through
Like,
the
I
time.
mean, like who?
Honestly, I
This
still
team almost
think
lost to Syracuse. So Tua Tagovailoa, blah 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 blah. He had 200.
it's gotta be it.
Blaine, just go aside.
That's it. No, I mean that's obviously right. Had 2 touchdowns and threw 2 picks, and he just didn't look there this game. I mean, again, Alabama needed him to show up. But here's a fun fact that I learned the other day. So this was a message sent to me by my brother, actually. Fun fact.
Shout out.
Yeah. Hey, Corey. Fun fact: as Tua craps down his leg, the NFL has 0 left-handed QBs on any roster, and the only touchdown pass from a left-handed player since the 2016 season was thrown by Dez Bryant.
I get it. I mean, with the NFL, with that, I don't really trust the lefties, to be honest.
The only good lefty in the NFL I could even think of is Steve Young.
So do we think? I mean,
He's been out for a while.
I know.
I mean,
Wait, can we talk about how Jalen Hurts went 0 for 2 with a sack?
no one.
before he-
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He
I mean, he was
how
starting
about
quarterback.
this?
Should have came in at halftime.
How about this? Do you think he transfers?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Carolina,
Why not?
baby?
I mean, he's not going to
I
play
don't
again.
think he's that great of a quarterback.
He's
but-
not going to play again in Alabama. Yeah, but there are a lot of teams
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
no,
love
I mean,
to have Jalen Hurts.
He's transferring maybe Kelly
Like,
Bryant.
that's what I was
from
gonna say. Like
Clemson.
Michigan.
Like,
oh
you know,
my gosh.
Kelly Bryant.
We already got somebody better.
Can't recruit
Tate
your own
Martell?
quarterbacks.
Take Martell.
Tate Martell's
Not yet.
not. He's
Not
not.
yet. He's coming.
Hey, Tate, don't go to Michigan. I love you, man.
Tate, I know you're probably not listening to this.
You can beat out Fields.
But we want you in Michigan. All right.
I wouldn't want to go to that.
Take
mess.
come to OU,
You're gonna sit
baby.
there.
OU,
What?
yeah.
You're gonna get a nice
What?
ring on
No.
your finger. You're gonna learn something nice from Shea Patterson this year. You're gonna get a ring
What
on your
not to
finger,
do.
and you go ahead and win one yourself over the next 2 years.
All right. Anyways, talking realistic goals here.
So, how about this? Clemson versus Alabama Part 5 next year?
I hope not.
Probably.
Seriously, it's kind of like the Warriors and Cavs for a while.
It's
It
getting
got
to that
old,
point,
but now the Cavs aren't.
It's getting to that point in college football where it's becoming only worth it to watch to see who gets the 3 and 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because that's what's happening to the NBA kind of too.
Yeah.
It's just
Like,
there's no sense of
Who
watching.
do you
till
think
June.
in the ACC is going to challenge Clemson next year?
No, I mean unless
Like
Notre
Miami
Dame
was decent last year.
unless Notre Dame joins
Dame's
the
not gonna-
conference.
They're not going to man up.
No, they're not. They're probably going to make it next year because
I
the
hope not.
selection committee has no idea what they're doing. They
The thing
won't
about-
tell us what
the
they're
thing
doing.
about the SEC is they like schedule all these FCS schools because they think their conference is good enough for strength of schedule, and then they might Alabama played what, Louisville this year?
They need to make it so out of conference schedule matters because it doesn't.
You know how like in basketball,
I'm calling it right here. This is going to be next year's top 4 at the end of the year.
All right.
don't say Michigan.
Number 1, Clemson.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 2, Notre Dame. They won't lose, so they'll get put at number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, Alabama will probably drop 1.
You think they?
You think? I think they'll lose a game.
Alabama will be
fair.
number 3,
To Georgia.
Okay.
and then the Michigan Wolverines number 4.
You mean Ohio State
Come on,
Buckeyes?
come on, man. You can't honestly believe that after getting shellacked by Florida,
I mean, half our
Like,
defense didn't
you know-
play.
and they're not coming back.
Talking about like out of
We're
conference schedules, you have like basketball.
College. Every year's a rebuild.
I'm trying, man.
keep that faith up, buddy. You know what? It makes the rivalry interesting every year
Yeah.
when Michigan really believes they have a shot.
This was their 1 year, and now they're screwed, so it doesn't matter. We took 2 of their defensive coaches.
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel about that?
I will punch you.
So, I mean, anyway, college football is becoming more and more relevant, which sucks because I love college football. The NBA is happening right now. It's not even... NBA doesn't become important until the All-Star break.
But wait, about the out of conference schedule. You know how like in basketball they do the ACC versus Big Ten challenge every year? Why don't they have like SEC versus
Someone?
Big 12 and
Not
something
Big
like that. Like I don't know. I'm just picking like different
Big 10
conferences.
versus Pac-12.
Yeah, so
Make
like
it
something
easy.
like that at the beginning of the year. You pick the top 3, 4, 5 teams, you just play them against each other. And
I mean,
Honestly, I just want to go Big 10 versus SEC to show them that Iowa would beat Kentucky. So
Yeah.
Penn State.
Okay.
Penn State. You're over here saying you're going to change your program around after Ohio State beats you,
James Franklin is the worst coach.
and then
in
you
the Big
lose
Ten.
to Kentucky.
James Franklin's the worst coach in the Big Ten. Did you see him manage the end of that game? He didn't. He didn't do any. He
still
let the
won't be
clock
there.
run down a minute before using one of his timeouts. He kicked the field goal on a 4th and goal to go up. Instead, he puts it on his defense, who hasn't been able to stop the running back from
Benny
Kentucky.
Snell.
Yeah, Benny Snell, who's a good running back. And I don't understand how he continues to have a job. It's because he can recruit, which I don't understand how he can
So now
recruit.
they have no Barkley and they don't have Trace McSorley next year. So
They
That's their
recruit well.
offense.
They recruit well.
It's a rebuild.
You can say that about every college team.
It was a mirage.
Besides Ohio State.
I mean, no, they
never
lost their
rebuild.
quarterback. It's a rebuild. Bring in another one, Justin Fields.
I mean, we have 2 good quarterbacks. So I'm not worried about
For
it.
now.
All right.
Let's leave.
So that's about all we got for today. Unless anyone else has something they want to bring up real quick.
Were you going to do the NBA thing?
I mean, the
You can do,
NBA.
like, an
It's
early
we're at
prediction
the
or
All Star. Once we get to the All Star break, is probably when we'll start talking about it because it doesn't matter up until that
I mean,
point.
the Celtics won a championship anyways. It doesn't
All right,
matter.
quick,
Like,
real quick, around the table. One name. Who's your MVP right now?
James Harden. He's having a better year than last year. And, I mean, he's had like 40 straight. Yeah.
Say your name, Blaine.
I don't know NBA yet. We're gonna go LeBron. No, I'm just kidding. I've heard James Harden is actually doing really good. So
I mean, LeBron James would have been a fair pick, but I'm gonna go with
Really?
Giannis. Oh yeah,
Giannis isn't
he's
bad,
doing all right.
but I go.
I heard that Kobe Bryant dude.
I think
Oh,
David
no, hold on.
Beckham is gonna win the NBA
Pretty good a couple
MVP.
years ago.
yeah.
Controversial.
I mean, hey, think about it. Kobe Bryant hasn't missed a single shot this year.
Oh,
Also hasn't made one.
That's
Controversial
beside the
pick.
point. No, yeah, I know nothing about the NBA yet. So you will be going along this journey with me as I learn
me
about
too.
professional basketball.
Excited.
Controversial pick. Derrick Rose takes it back.
Comeback player.
He's coming. He's
I
going.
don't think he
know
gets comeback player of the
He's
year.
going to the All-Star.
I don't think he gets MVP. I think he gets comeback player.
It's between James Harden. I think Paul George needs to be in it too because he's been doing pretty good for the Thunder.
He's not going to do anything in the playoffs.
he's
though,
not.
Tell you, my man is continuing to get disrespected.
Dame Lillard.
Damian Lillard.
All right, I'll take that.
We need to have Luke sign off the pod.
Kawhi, maybe.
Why I
Dennis
like that?
Rodman.
All right. Thank you for joining us again on the Sort of Stupid Sports Podcast. This has been an episode that we've done.
You have no idea how much we've had to cut.
I mean, maybe someday we'll get that blooper reel ready for y'all. But
At
This
the end
episode
of,
only took 3 hours to record.
at the end of season 1, if we do
Golden
seasons-
Retrievers, everybody.
You don't know about that. No one knows about that.
They
so,
will.
Keep
to
moving.
send us off properly, let's give us something to go out on, Mr. Luke Fredericks.
All right, guys. I just wanted to let you know about a new advertising opportunity.
All right, we're going to go ahead and close this one down. Thank you so much, everybody.